Welcome back to the Lost in Possession podcast. I'm Jamie and I'm here to talk about FPL, Game Week 1, what's already happened, and Game Week 2 coming up. My future sort of plans with transfers and sort of how I see the sort of format teams are going. Now let's get straight into it. Game Week 1, I will actually discuss my team, Jordan and Reese's team, but Jordan and Reese haven't actually given me any clues to what they're doing. They're keeping their cards very close to their chest. However, I won't be doing the same. So for me, 77 points, a game week rank of 1.2 million. Now, I don't mind the game week rank. It is what it is. You've got to remember, people are playing triple captains, bench boosts, all their sort of chips, and some people are just targeting game week 1. So that's not what I'm doing. I'm taking this obviously a bit more seriously than some other players. Some are just trying to get, look at me, I'm game week 1 rank, my game week 1 rank. I'm not doing that. But let's go through my team. So Pickford, let's start off with that. Now 4.5 keeper. Frustrating because if you looked at the other 4.5 keepers, they were picking up points. And the keeper that I actually wanted was Onana, getting, I believe it was 9 points this week. Now, with the Onana one, very, very lucky. It was a penalty. Let's just not even bother questioning it. Don't know how it wasn't given, but it doesn't matter. FPL, he's got the points. Let's go into my defence. Now, if you watched my game before my game week 1 video, you'd know my team looks a bit different. That's because I did put it in the comments that Diaz was injured, wasn't going to be with the squad. I then saw that Stones wasn't travelling with the squad very, very close to the kickoff, so I've had to make some changes. Otherwise, my 2 City defenders weren't playing. I wasn't confident about picking anyone else. I think Walker here got the clean sheet as I expected. Was probably the best bet to be starting, and I think that will continue for at least the next 4 or 5 game weeks. I'd be surprised if he's not starting in all of them. He may miss one. That's at most. But for a City defender, that's not too bad. Stones is out again, I've seen. But Diaz should be back for the Newcastle game in game week 2. Before I get on to my regrets of this defence, I'll get with Estepunan. 7 points. Brighton. Disappointing not to see a clean sheet against Luton. Was a penalty, so it's not really that concerning. Him getting forward, obviously getting an assist, very happy with that. And then you've got to look at the sort of stats of 0.11 for an XG of goals, which is very good for a defender. But then 0.89 for an assist is brilliant. It's utter brilliant for any player, let alone a defender. So I'm very happy with him, but I do think most people have got him, look, over 50% owned. Now, I did not see the rumours of Gabriel not starting. I think the rumours were he was injured, but it was definitely he wasn't starting. So it's very frustrating for me that I didn't see them rumours and then didn't update my team. I actually stupidly went out during the sort of last half hour of the deadline. I just sort of was like, I'm happy with my team now after the City switches. I'm just walking away from it. Don't need to worry about it anymore. But Gabriel annoyingly comes on for the 1-pointer. If you've got Gabriel, I wouldn't be too worried with Timber getting injured. I think that's actually a plus for Gabriel owners, but it is very frustrating. At 5.0, for Arsenal, you just want him to be starting, let's be honest. That's why he's there. He was meant to be the guaranteed starter. But I did say on my other channel, it's a 50-50 between him and Saliba being in my team. I've gone with Gabriel, and unfortunately it's not paid off with Saliba getting an assist. Let's move on to my midfield. Starts off with Bruno Fernandes. Man United were very, very poor against Wolves. It's something that I did mention. I didn't want 2 of the players because I didn't want Bruno and Rashford like a lot of people had, because United's stats of goals last season just weren't that great. Not to be putting a double in there. I think if I was going for the double, I'd rather have gone with Arsenal. If I was picking between sort of other sides in the team. So yeah, that's sort of where I am. Bruno will be staying. I think he's going to get penalties. He's going to still get assists. It's not all doom and gloom. They did win, so some confidence can be taken that they can be poor and still win. Saka, brilliant. Well, first half, brilliant. Sort of great goal he scored. 10-pointer. That's what you want. That's why he's the number one Arsenal pick out of the attackers, in my opinion. Even though it wasn't the penalty that we've all been sort of mentioning. I don't think there's much more to talk about him. A lot of people have got him. Salah. It was almost a perfect afternoon having Salah. Getting the assist for Diaz's goal. And then getting that goal, which was offside. If he got that, that's, another 5 points. Bonus points as well. You're looking at a double-digit haul. And Salah looks the perfect fit. And everyone else will be doubting themselves why they didn't have him. But it was offside. And now, because of the way he went off the pitch, throwing his tape around, people are going to start questioning him. But against Bournemouth, it's a massive opportunity for Salah and Liverpool to get back to scoring. And him being, hopefully, at the focal point for my fantasy team. Mbeumo got the penalty against Spurs. Brilliant. And when I didn't watch all of the game, I watched some of the game. He's very, very attacking. It's brilliant to have him at 6.5 in the midfield. So there's nothing more than I'm very happy with him without the 6.5 million picks. He was my number one and he's staying there. Foden, slightly disappointing, but I did put him in after seeing the some of the team news before. I still think he is going to get goals. He is going to get assists. So I'm going to be sticking with him. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But he's one that sort of, I've got to be looking at other players. When your Maddison gets 2 assists in the first game, even though I did say to leave him out at the start of the season because you just don't. It was more uncertainty with Maddison is why I said to leave him out. But you've got to be looking at that, thinking, well, why have I got Foden when I could have Maddison, who will be probably the main star for Spurs in their attacking lineup. But at the moment, I'm keeping him. City have a very good run of fixtures. The De Bruyne injury probably aids to Foden. It's one less player that you can be on the bench for. So I think it's a chance for him to still shine. And we'll see how he goes. Haaland, brilliant. Captain. If you didn't have him captain, you must have been hating it, seeing that first half. And to be honest, I was hoping for... After the first half, I was expecting at least a hat-trick. But 26 points, I can't complain. It's brilliant. He is a goal-scoring machine. But I think he's over now just under 90% owned. Absolutely ridiculous. You have to own him. I don't know what the other 10% are doing. João Pedro in there for exactly what I thought he was going. I thought he was going to be starting and on penalties, which he is. The slight annoyance was him missing pretty much an open goal before he got his goal. If only the penalty maybe come first, his confidence would have been up and he would have slotted it home, and then that would have been a double-digit haul. But at 5.5 million. I think he's a great buy, and with Brighton having 2 nice fixtures next, I think he's a really good one to have up front. My bench doing probably a little bit better than I thought. So Henry got an assist against Spurs. That's more than I fully expected. I expected just a 2-pointer, maybe less if Spurs scored more. Baldock, 2 points. That's it. That's all I expect from him at 4.0. That's all I want from him to continue 2-pointer, 2-pointer, 2-pointer. That's good enough for me if I ever need him. The rest are non-playing players, so as expected. So there's my team at 77 points. Let's go on to Jordan's points, who did beat me, unfortunately, at 78 points. I'm not going to go fully into his team. However, clean sheets for Johnston, Espionage. Just Johnson in goal. He got attacking returns from 3 of his defenders, and Trent being the other. Mitomo with the assist for one of Brighton's goals. Very good at 6.5. He's got Mbeumo, like I've mentioned, and Saka. Rashford I don't think he looks fully comfortable up front. He wants to be on the left, but at the moment I think he's going to be playing up front until United striker sign in. If they bring in another, I see Rashford just being the striker from now for a time period anyway. Got Haaland and then Jackson, who I think Jackson looked lively. I just don't know whether he's going to be getting the goals or assists that you want from him. But he did look quite good from just a small eye test of from the game when I watched against Liverpool. Puts himself about, tries, and I think as a Chelsea fan you'd be happy about him as an FPL option. The jury's still out. It's very early on, obviously 1 week. His bench, he had Grealish, who didn't start. Very much surprising. He didn't start. I thought it was a banker, but I was wrong. Bell, who was, I think, the most owned 4.0 defender. That may have changed from when I've last looked. He played for 90 minutes, but when you concede 4 goals, there's not much you can do. But Jordan shouldn't be banking on that. And then in Archer, he's not playing. Turner getting 2 points is very good to have a 4.0 goalkeeper starting. And if that continues, I think he's a great buy if you've already got him. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to sign him, but that's that. Let's go on to Reece's team, who Reece had Reece had the worst out of us 3, getting 68 points. He also had Pickford in goal. He had Botman, who got an assist, which is quite surprising. Not something you expect from him. Estepunian, once again. Trent not doing anything. Reece has gone a bit different, and really, I think the one that paid off was obviously Isaac. Otherwise, he could have had a very, very bad week compared to everyone else. Isaac, brilliant. He has gone up in price. I don't know if I'd bring him in yet. He can score against City. There's absolutely no doubt he can score against them. And if you watched them in the Super Cup like I did, we were very open defensively, so Newcastle can hurt us in that way. I'm hoping from a City point of view, Diaz comes back and shores up that defence. But it's still a wait and see. I don't think Isaac's a bad buy, but he's not a certain. You don't desperately need him. To Reece's bench, got Gibbs White, 2-pointer. That's going to happen at 6.0, the midfielder. It's a differential pick, and some weeks it will pay off, some weeks it won't. Stones was out. Reece obviously didn't see the team news before. I think I did message him. He may not have seen the message though. And then I can't pronounce his name, but 1-pointer. Look, he played 90 minutes. That's it. That's what you need. That's all that's going to happen, really. Got a yellow card, but he's cheap enough to not worry about it. 4.5, probably a bit more expensive than say a Bulldog, but I think Reece is expecting maybe a little bit more attacking returns from him. Otherwise, he's on his bench. Now back to my team for this next game week. I've already made my transfer due to the price rising, and as you can see, Chilwell is in. I watched the Chelsea-Liverpool game. He was brilliant for an FPL. FPL managers, if you had him, you were so excited, and if you weren't, you were worried. I was worried. I didn't have him in because I was going to bring him in a bit later. I actually wanted to bring him in for Gameweek 3, so I have brought him in early due to the price rise. But the fact he's so attacking, I don't think his stats actually, because you see his stats here of 0.11 for goals, expected goals, 0.23 for assists. That doesn't tell me the full story. because that would say Estebunan had a better sort of overall week. I think Chilwell had more of a chance to get more points. He did score, ruled offside correctly in my opinion. He's someone I think has got to be a must-have from game week 3. You're looking at Luton game in the fixtures. That's just a must-have. Look at that green that's come up here. The worst game is Aston Villa, and that's at home. So absolutely, he's someone you've got to be looking to bring into your team. Reece James is injured, so that just means you're not choosing between the two. It's Chilwell. That's it. And I think if you're looking at the Chelsea defence, you pick Chilwell and someone else. You don't dismiss Chilwell and get someone else. That's sort of how I see it. For the rest of the team, Pickford's not going to change, at least not yet. Estebunan, Wolves away. Wolves, as you saw, get in brilliant positions and can't score, although I'm saying this and they'll probably score a few. Walker, I think City have the best defence in the league. Walker can get forward sometimes. He's not really... I'd prefer to be having John Stones in there or Ruben Diaz, but I got Walker in, and I think he can get the clean sheet points that the other two were going to get. Into my midfield, Bruno Fernandes, an obvious sort of choice to stay in. There's no way I'm taking him out for the players on my bench. Spurs conceded 2 against Brentford. They need to shore up their defence before I'm worried about playing against Spurs. I'm going to skip Salah for just a second, but you've got Saka, no problem. Like he's got to be starting. In Mbeumo, Fulham away. Fulham weren't great against Everton, from what I've been told and sort of some of the stats I saw. So I do expect Brentford to at least score, and he's got a high chance of doing it. Foden, like I said, I trust him. De Bruyne injured. I think Foden will have more chance of starting and will start. Then up front, Haaland, João Pedro. There's sort of no one on the bench I'm really considering. Henry against Fulham. Maybe if he was at home, I'd probably try and think about getting him in, but there's no one I'd want to take out for him anyway, and the others are not really considered. My next problem is my captain. I am 50-50 at the moment between Salah and Haaland. I've not changed it because that's who I just left Haaland as captain. I'm going to be looking at it before the deadline, which is Friday at 6:15. At this moment in time, I'm probably going to go to Salah. I think City have obviously got a harder game. They've played midweek. And we saw Sevilla be a very good team in shutting off Haaland by being very narrow defensively, and I think Newcastle can replicate that. But Newcastle will have more of an attacking threat to them, so that will open a few gaps more than probably what Sevilla did have in the Super Cup. And it won't be as hot as it was in there, because I don't think there will be a need for drinks breaks come Saturday evening. So yeah, I'm going to go with Salah. I think Liverpool... Well, at the moment I'm going with Salah. I may change my mind, I'll be totally honest. But against Bournemouth, Liverpool have a very, very good record. Salah did not score against them home and away last season, but that does not mean he can't do it this season. I think he's going to get the right supply at home. I don't think Bournemouth are going to be terrible. It's not going to be another 9-0. But that doesn't mean Salah can't come up with 1, maybe 2 goals against them. He can pull up a hat-trick, really. Salah's been the king of FPL until the robot turned up in Haaland. I think at, what is he now, nearly 30% owned. It's actually a very good, slightly differential in that. It's not full differential, but it's a bit of a differential pick in having him captain. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with my team. Let us know who you're looking at to bring in, who you have brought in, because I'm quite interested to see how the sort of template teams are going on. I think there's a lot of improvements that I can make to my squad, but I don't think at the moment there's any major red flags in my team. Probably the biggest one at the moment is Foden, but I think with that De Bruyne injury going to be out for months, sadly, it gives him a much greater chance of starting and being more influential to the team when we score goals, because he will be around the box and he's known to scoring goals. So if you've liked this video, please give it a like, comment and subscribe. Anything that may help us this channel. We want to keep building, we want to keep growing as we are, and we'll bring you weekly football content every single Monday, and we're going to be trying to do the fantasy football on a Thursday. Like I said again, please like, comment and subscribe. You know the drill.